Se llama the past perfect or el pluscomperfecto en español. Se llama pluscomperfecto. Entonces, para repetir, yo he llevado una vida sana este semestre. Presente perfecto relacionado con este momento, ¿no? Y yo he bebido mucha agua, he practicado yoga, pues no he ido al gimnasio, falso. Pero antes de este semestre, ¿y cómo se dice antes de este semestre? Before, prior to. Entonces, todas las actividades relacionadas con el pasado, ¿no? Entonces, yo no había llevado una vida sana. ¿Y cuál es la diferencia gramaticalmente que vemos aquí? Había. That's the only thing that's changed grammatically. We've just gone from he llevado to había llevado. So in terms of the test, preparation, what do you need to know? Because it is after spring break, and I know obviously you won't remember anything when you come back. I just want to clarify how simple really this is grammatically. The context is different, but the grammar is pretty simple. We have the participles used as adjectives, like estoy cansada, right? We learned that first, or estamos terminados. And then we have the present perfect, he llevado, and now we have the past perfect, había llevado. So that's basically all you need to know grammatically for the test. In terms of context, though, what has changed? We know he has changed to había, because why? What's changed about the context? When am I referring to? Antes de este semestre, prior to this semester. So what am I saying when I say no había llevado? I just went through all the things I've done this semester to be healthy this semester. But now I'm talking about prior to this semester. So now I'm saying prior to this semester, I didn't, which would be the preterite. Or in this context, instead of using the preterite, I hadn't, had not. So the present perfect is like I have lived a healthy lifestyle, but prior to this semester, I had not. So all week long on the super site, all your activities are going to be using había, for the most part, to express the idea of had. Por ejemplo, prior to this semester, I hadn't drank a lot of water. No había bebido mucha agua. That's falso. Siempre bebo mucha agua. ¿Entienden? Había bebido. So we're still using had oído. Es fácil. The participles are recycled throughout the chapter concepts. It's pretty easy. But what's changed is the context, and now we're saying había.
It means no, like I haven't done this.
Close. That was for the present perfect, like he bebido, haven't or have. But now we're using había to say had, H-A-D, had. Because we're talking about prior to this semester. And at the end, I'll reference that image, that timeline that we went over on Friday to reinforce or re-explain or overemphasize what we talked about at the end of last week on how these tenses all fall into place. Había probado, no había ido al gimnasio. So this is saying I what? Had not. Had not gone to the gym, okay? Prior semester. So basically, we're just saying had or hadn't. And the rules for had or had not done something in English are the same as Spanish. You just have to have a reference to the past. So you'll see this on the super site. And I'm going to pull up an activity today. It's not due till Friday on the super site, but it's kind of tricky. Because we have to have that reference to the past. And there's different ways we can reference the past. But we're going to see the preterite tense again. Because sometimes we can use the preterite tense with the past perfect. I'll show you those examples later. Grammatically, though, es muy fácil. You're just saying a to había. So what do you need to know for the test? You need to know how to take a regular verb like beber and put it in its participle form bebido, or an irregular verb like hacer and put it in its irregular participle form hecho, or escribir, escrito. So you need to know your participles. I pulled up Quizlet a couple weeks ago. Quizlet is full of practice with participles in Spanish, so there's really no reason not to learn those. And then you have your forms of haber for the present perfect, asa, hemos, habéis, han, and now we have past perfect, había. And notice these endings, había, habías, había, habíamos, ia. These endings are just like the imperfect ER/IR verbs. So you're really just building on conjugations you already know. Okay, so let's take a look at how we use these. This is what we were talking about in class on Friday. So you have that illustration, that image, and I just want to go through this one last time again. We talked about hablar español, speaking Spanish, and that's the verb I use over and over and over again in the yo form, present tense, hablo español, right? Which is expressed here on the timeline. But then we had present perfect, which is related to the present, he hablado. Remember this from Friday? And then we had two other tense. We talked about present tense, present perfect, and then we also talked about preterite and imperfect. How is the imperfect illustrated on this tense timeline?
Isn't that true of green?
Yes, the loop-de-loops, right? Because the imperfect is an action in progress, an ongoing action, a repeated or habitual action, había. But the preterite tense is illustrated on this timeline with what? The red dots. Because why? What do we know about the preterite? Happened once. Action completed in the past. Muy bien, Aaron. So we say, hablé español el fin de semana pasado. Or, durante cuando Harry estudió en España, Harry habló español. It's talking about a completed action that occurred in the past. The pluscomperfecto, or the past perfect, today's concept, if you don't have this already included on your timeline, or listen carefully even if you do, it's connected. It ends in the past. It's not connected with the present, like the present perfect. It's in the past connected to that preterite tense action. So typically, you'll see the past perfect, the pluscomperfecto with the preterite. For example, when Caroline arrived to class today, which is the preterite tense, yeah, when Caroline arrived tarde to clase today, that would be in the preterite. Cuando Caroline llegó, I'll include this. Say, sorry, Caroline, but I was really hoping somebody was going to be late today. Because in my 9 a.m. class, there were 4 students late today because of the time change. Well, your excuse might be different, but I understand with the time change. So, yeah, okay, whatever. It works perfect for today's class. Cuando, that's a you. Caroline.
No problem.
Gracias. Llegó a clase. Llegó tarde. Hoy. And here I'm using the preterite, llegó. She arrived. When she arrived late to class, or arrived late today, la clase, ya, había empezado. Okay, so class had started. And I just want to point out one little thing here. This part. This ya. Ya había empezado. Because ya is a word that we hear a lot in Spanish. It doesn't necessarily interfere with comprehension. However, ya is used a lot when we're referring to the past with the preterite and using this pluscomperfecto to say what had already happened. Ya is a word in Spanish for already. So on the supersite, you're going to see it a lot. You're going to see it on the test. You're going to see it on the ampliación because it often accompanies the action of had. Like when I arrived to the airport, my plane had already left. Or when, I don't know, when we got to the party, the cops had already come. Okay? So we often use ya with the past perfect and the reference to the preterite. You're going to see that a lot. There's an activity on the supersite that's practicing that over and over and over again. But before we use, we can use ya. Before we start using the preterite tense, vamos a hacer una actividad del libro que les prepara para la ampliación y también aplica esto.